Welcome to the last day on the mind body reset. What a blast it has been. And we are finishing, almost finishing here with a healthy and aging topic, which I think anybody can dive into no matter the age 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, because we're moving up that ladder pretty quickly. I just felt like, wasn't I just 35? Like, boom. And then, yeah. And so, what I would love this to be is just to explore, um, you know, the experience I've had with discovering how ways I think, to feel younger, which in effect makes us look younger. And Teresa, you as well, you are the epitome of just shining and glowing. And no matter, I've known you for 17 years, and you are just glowing and you look truly younger now than when I first met you in 2007. So there's definite, I know there's nutritional, and I know there's mindset, there's emotional, there's our life patterns, there's everything, there's skin. It's never one thing. Um, Nutrition's a big part, but so I'd love to introduce to you Teresa Van Hoosen, who I have known for 17 years and has been 17. She's been a mentor. She's been a very good friend through business and in life. And she just, I mean, I could go over all of her credentials, which is a long list, but I'm going to say it from a friend perspective. She's just the most caring, thoughtful person that I know, and consistently, that never stops. So she's true, authentic. She's the real deal. And when you look at her now, she shines in her mid to almost late 60s. Who looks at the numbers anyhow? And so we're here to kind of dive into what are the tricks? What have you experienced in your life, and how are you looking so good right now? So
Well,
take the
thank you.
floor.
And Karrie, thank you and to Laura for allowing me to share because it is an honor. And I know the people who connect with you and connect on these Zooms really do care about their mind, body, and spirit and really want to elevate their game or elevate their lives. And really, we all have that higher self. We all want to connect more to that because we all have that lower self too. And it's a matter of connecting to the other one, the higher one. However, we'll just state the obvious. So I'm 66 years old. I'll be 67 in September. So, like a little child, I'm 66 and a half. You know, I'm excited. I'm not turned off by aging. And that's maybe a mind shift that is difficult for some folks, but I'm going to encourage you to get there because, just go through a walk in the graveyard. And those are all people who'd love to be old right now. So, look at aging as actually a privilege because it is. And so we don't need to talk about the obvious, like, the less you can smoke and drink and drug and eat bad garbage and be a sloth and do nothing. Clearly those things don't contribute to healthy aging. And if you can really look to sort of improve upon any bad habits you might have, because we all have them. I mean, I just recently gave up coffee and I have noticed a difference in my skin. So caffeine is a dehydrating. So just, I love coffee too. But
How dare you talk about it, coffee in that
I
way?
know, I know. I was feeling the energy from, but let's start with nutrition first. Simply because like it's something we all do every day as we eat. So I'm going to ask you a question and just sit with it for a second because I don't think you'll know the answer. And if you do, bravo. What does an 18-year-old male football player and an 80-year-old woman have in common? If anybody on the call would like to unmute and give me what you think that the similarity is, I would love to hear it. And if you're just kind of going, I don't know, they're both humans, they both have two eyeballs. I mean, okay, I'll spare you. They both have the same protein requirements. So an 18-year-old male football player who's working out heavy, you go, oh my goodness, they need a lot of protein. So do you as you get older. Hey, Laura. Um, Simply because at about the age of 35, our body starts to make a shift in its muscle mass. And you've probably met people or even have experienced it yourself where you go, I weigh the same as I did in high school, but my clothes don't fit because we tend to lose muscle mass. It's called sarcopenia. And muscle doesn't turn into fat. So anybody who tells you fat turns into muscle, they're completely different cells. So just get that out of your head. It isn't fat, it's probably inflammation. It's probably toxin because your body will protect yourself as best it can by holding on to water and maybe actually surrounding toxin with fat. It'll create new fat cells. So, one of the best things you can do to just really elevate your life is to reduce the amount of foods you have that are processed. You know, we all love pizza. We all love French fries. We all love chocolate cake. And yes, they're classified as food, but they're not foods that are going to elevate you or help you in any way. So I'm going to say the odd, rare occasion, go for it, enjoy it completely. But you really kind of need to have about a gram of protein for every pound of your desired body weight. So if you're 180 pounds and your goal is 135, then or 120, it'd be 120 grams. Not where you currently are, but where you need to be. Or if you're underweight, if you're 98 pounds and your ideal weight is 115, you need that 115 grams, not the 98. So it's having adequate protein. And not all proteins are the same. So Karrie and I and a few other ladies on the call have experienced a very powerful meal replacement that delivers protein in a way your body can actually absorb it. So I will recommend, you can connect with Karrie for information on that or Laura. It's it's portable, it's easy, and it's really, really delicious. And I find that a simple way to get a lot of protein in. And also, if, I know that this will be challenging for some, but if you can do a sugar detox, sugar's poison, guys. It really is. It's delicious, delicious poison, but it's poison. So do yourself a sugar detox. And if you could follow a lower carbohydrate, if you just got your carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables, you'd be golden, but just, I know in Europe, you know, the grain is different. And I mean, I love Europe. I can eat bread all day long there and not gain an ounce. But if you live in North America, you need to cut the bread out of your life. It's just, we don't get the same food here. So, sort of on a nutrition level, keep it clean, drink pure water. Um, on a sort of a mental sort of approach, healthy aging is really about how you view yourself. And, I admit that I was very addicted to the mirror and vanity for a very long time. And around my middle 40s, I started noticing, the first wrinkle. And then I don't remember the year. I just remember it was the decade of the 50s. I woke up one morning and there were jowls and I went, oh my God, they weren't there yesterday. Like literally, it was an overnight deal. And I was like, holy cow, what's going on? And so I learned to look in the mirror and see my flaws. All I saw was my flaws. I'd look in and see the wrinkles, the whatevers, the gray, never mind gray hairs, it's all gray now. Um, but that's what I would focus on. I wouldn't focus on the fact that my body works, the fact that I have two beautiful legs that carry me anywhere I want to go, and that my hands have done everything from hold an infant to, punch bags when I do kickboxing. And it's just, and everything in between. And you start to appreciate the little things. And I really encourage you to do that, to find something you can really, really like about or love about yourself. Like it could be hard. It might be, well, I have symmetrical nostrils. Wow, those things are really just perfectly symmetrical. If that's all you can find, then go with it and just compliment yourself on it all day. And then maybe you have to do it for a week before you can find something else to really love about yourself. I've gotten to the point where I haven't loved every single inch of me yet, but I am pretty feeling good. I am feeling real good. So I also think that when you have a self acceptance of here I am, world, come, let's go, let's play. And it's not about I'm too old to play or they don't want to talk to me. I'm too old. Or why would I go do karaoke and make a fool of myself because I can't sing? Or why would, fill in the blank? Why? Because you're human and we're here for experience. We're here to support one another. We're here to learn and it's all good. So just don't ever mindset. Stop learning. I don't care if all you want to learn is how to, I don't know, grow plants that butterflies will come to. I mean, just anything. Always be growing, always be learning. I'm always have a book on the go, always. Sometimes it's self-improvement, but lately it's been a lot of brain candy, a lot of just lovely fictional things that make me feel happy. So that's what's important is feeling happy. So read or study what you need to do to feel whole and happy because the messaging we tend to get in North America is that at my age, I should be um, fat and sloppy and have my hair in a bun and be happy to hold grandchildren on my lap and bake cookies. And I'm a sexless, desireless person whose only role is to just serve and give. Well, we're all here to serve and give, but girl, girls, there's so much life at every age and stage. And some of my heroes are a man I know, like Jimmy Smith, who just turned 97 years old. And the man's still out there teaching people how to make money in the evolved economy. And he does, so his mind is awake. He's still enthusiastic about life and he really wants to help others. This man's made more money than he'll ever spend in his life, but he wants others to succeed. So that's the kind of thing, like whatever it is that you do that you're really good at, start sharing that. Whether it's like, both Laura and Karrie have been sharing their gifts all week. And I'm telling you, just don't think it's small. Sometimes it's just, I was just in Utah and I met this older couple, Bob and Bridget. What a hoot she is. Oh my goodness. Bridget, 77 years old and a little firecracker. And she was with a man several years younger. And I'm worried that he can't keep up to her. So I'm like, Bob, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to keep up to Bridget. But I noticed that a lot of people discount them because they're, a bit older. And I was in a conference and I went up to them and I said, hey, you guys want to go for dinner? Oh my goodness, they lit up like a Christmas tree. They were so excited to be included in anything. So if you want to be social, if you want to have an active social life and be engaged with other people throughout your lives, you try not to cry, but social health is super important as you get older.
Mm.
I don't know, you guys are kind of young, but the Beatles came out with a song called Eleanor Rigby, and they talk about all the lonely people. It doesn't have to be that way. So, if you're already older, you reach out. Don't worry about rejection. Heck with it. In fact, most older people are so excited to even be noticed because in our society, they're not noticed. They have so much wisdom and so much they could pour into you if you're just open to it. So, mentally and emotionally, a social life is super important. And I made some lifelong friends. It's really interesting. We're already like making dates together. They're going to come to the farm. We have a farm and it's just great, right? So that part of health is really, really important. And then physical health. You have to find an activity you like. Forget all the shoulds. Stop shooting on yourself. You don't need to be shooted on anymore. Just do what you want. Maybe it's you put on music and you dance around for 20 minutes and get sweaty. Awesome. That's a workout as far as I'm concerned. Um, Maybe you just feel like going swimming or you just want to go for a walk and a good stretch. And maybe you like to do hula hoops. I'm going to actually get myself a hula hoop. That's one of the best core trainings you can do. And it's fun. But find stuff you enjoy. and do it, because it doesn't matter how effective a workout might be. I mean, the hit stuff or the I did kickboxing for several years, and I might get back to it, but I can't find a kickbox gym in my area. So anyway, find something you love and then move your body every single day. Every single day. Some days will be more intense, some will be lighter. I know Karrie was sharing she's fasting and cleansing today. So that would be a day where you do a lighter workout. You wouldn't give it, 100% because you'd want your body to use the energy to cleanse and not,
Hmm.
kick butt. So, as far as physical goes, it is important, it's super important. And I don't even like the word exercise because people generally have unless they're fitness gurus, they don't have a good relationship with the word. So I just say, move your body in a way that feels fun, but move it, make it move, whatever it is. I don't know if you run or roll around on the grass, I don't care. Just roll around a lot. Just have fun. Let's see, what have I left out? Mind, body, nutrition, hormones. So there's lots of companies out there with products that help your hormones. And I learned a bunch of stuff I'll just share. Karrie, you probably even heard this. Do you know there's just over 5,000 known diseases to humans? Most of them are 90% are hormonally based and 100% are nutritionally based. So Harvard did this huge study years ago. They spent millions of dollars and they found out that people got sick for three reasons. The first reason is something was entering their body, whether it was through the skin, their mouth, the air, something was entering their body that their body didn't want or need. Or the body wasn't getting something that it wanted or needed. The third reason is both of the above. Most of us live now in a world where it's both of the above. We can only do so much, but I don't even know if there's a bubble or a mountain left in this world where you wouldn't be impacted by some form of pollution, and not to be negative, but that is just a truth we've got here. We're living in a bit of a dirty fishbowl here. So it's important to do a form of cleansing on a periodic basis. It's kind of like, I don't care how great your shower was this morning, it's only going to last so long, You're going to have to shower again at some point. So, like the inside of our bodies, it's important to have a system or fast or both, which is better, to periodically clean, whether it's once a week, once a month, once a season. But you do need to take the garbage out. It really is important. Um, a lot of the things we get in our foods are not things we even realize we're getting. Maybe if you eat meat as I do, perhaps the animal was given something that I'm not aware of. But of course, it's
Hmm.
incorporated into the meat, so I'm eating that. Even vegetables, unless you're growing your own and you absolutely know they're organic. The word organic is pretty loosey goosey these days, but you do the best you can. But it's important to clean house. So you want to do that periodically. And it's not hard, as I mentioned, sorry to out you, Karrie, but you're cleansing today. And doesn't she look gorgeous? I mean, she's not on the floor dying or anything else. It's just like it's another day. It's just taking a few products and not eating food and drinking some water.
A little
And
chilled.
pardon?
It's a chill out mode because
Completely
once
chill
you
out.
start expending a little more energy, then it wonks you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
And another thing is understand your body has more wisdom than any doctor you've ever met in your entire life.
Hmm.
Listen to it. I was traveling yesterday and I felt I needed a coffee and I quit coffee, but I had a decaf. I had such wicked heartburn afterwards. It wasn't even funny. And I thought, I knew I shouldn't have done that. But my body was talking to me. It was saying, girl, whatever you just poured down your throat is not welcome here. Don't do it again. Okay, I'm motivated by pain. I won't do it again. I'm also motivated by pleasure, so I won't do it again. So, you look at the habits you have. We all have ingrained habits. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And if you've got a bad habit, there's Karrie and other therapists that can help you sort of break those cycles, break those patterns, because maybe the pattern is emotional. You know, you always beat up on yourself when you make a mistake. And I mean, I've not to brag, but I've achieved quite a bit of success in my life. And I can tell you, I've made more than a million mistakes and I fail every single day. So don't ever be afraid of making mistakes because you don't learn anything when things are going perfect, do you? When everything's rosy and lovely, I like those days too. I like the lazy, river float, on a sunny day. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, those are really nice days, but you don't learn anything. You don't grow from that. You just enjoy. You let your body and your spirit have a bit of a break. But it's in the times that we consider challenging or difficult or whatever term you want to give it, that's when we grow. That's when we grow. We're challenged because we are so magnificent. As much as I think I've stretched myself and I've grown because I've forcibly put myself into situations where like on purpose, that's what I mean. I engage in things that make me scared. And I'll just share that I went to Utah to do something. I've never been to Utah. It's really different there. It's beautiful. Uh, but I said and did things that put me way outside of my comfort zone, like bawling at points, just bawling. And yet I feel so proud of the fact that I wasn't concerned about what they thought of me. Because what other people think of me is really none of my business. The sooner you really adopt that, what you think of me is none of my business. What I think of me is what's important. So what you think of yourself is truly the most important. And I'm still practicing love talk for myself. I know there's a lot of coaching around this. But your brain and your body hears absolutely everything you say and it records it. So, people go, everybody in my family gets cancer, or my shoulder really hurts and it's just a really bad shoulder, or, my hair is falling out. It's always falling out. Well, no, I have like miles of hair, but um, whatever it is, stop it. Stop it and do the opposite. You know, I'm so grateful to have hair. Oh, look at this hair, or whatever it is, like the wrinkles. Oh, I love the wrinkles. My face looks like a sunrise when I smile, or find a way to put a spin on it that makes you happy because we all have a vanity gene. Those of you who say, oh no, my looks don't matter, you're just lying, so stop it. We all want to look good. You know who looks the best? People who love themselves. Doesn't matter what color, shape, size, doesn't matter if society said to be beautiful or not. When you see a man or a woman who's in complete embodiment of who they are, they approve of themselves, they like themselves. It's not that they don't care what you think, but they just don't care that much. That's an attractive person. That's somebody you go, huh, there's something going on there. Because most of us walk around, and I have for a very long time, insecure. Do you guys remember the days when you're like in your early 20s and you're at the bar and you want to go to the bathroom, but you don't want to go alone? You want one of your girlfriends to go with you because you don't want everyone to look at you going to the bathroom. Or maybe I'm just the only weirdo. But, or I didn't want to get up and dance just because I wanted to because no one else was dancing and I didn't want to be the fool. Thank God I got over all of that. You know, just don't care. Just don't care. Just be a good human. I don't know. Everybody has their own belief system. I have a belief in a higher power, and I believe that the only rule that I was given, there's only two. One is to love one another and do no harm. So outside of love one another and do no harm, it's a free for all, guys. Don't worry about it. You know, there should be no rules you have for yourself, like I'm too old to dress that way. What? What? No. Or I can't talk like that because. And when I heard the story of my new friends Bridget and Bob and how she picked him up and how she kept asking him out, and finally the penny dropped, I think this lady's asking me out. I thought, good on her. She's bold. She still wants to have the attention of a man in her life, and she's going for it. And she did. She landed a good one, you know? So it's just whatever it is you want in your life, go for it. It's not, maybe you want horses. Oh, I'm too old to horseback ride. Really? I don't think so. Or I'm too old to we've actually received criticism, Rick and I, from people because we bought a farm a couple years ago, a hobby farm. I mean, we're not, growing wheat to sell to, people. We're just, it's gardening and playing around in nature. And, we aspire to have a donkey and maybe a couple of chickens, and that'll come soon enough. But it's a lot of hard work. Let me tell you, it's a lot of hard work. And yet I thrive on it because it's outdoors and it's physical. And the only one I have looking over my shoulder is a bird, maybe a bunny or a deer or something. And it's wonderful. But people have criticized me. That's too much work. You're supposed to go in the other direction. You're older. You're supposed to take it easy. No, here's a trip. That is the surest way to have low quality life and die prematurely. Period. Done. Accept what society tells you to take it easy. You're older. Oh, these are your golden years. You're supposed to sit on your ass and play cards all day and do nothing. Just travel. Just pack a suitcase and never do anything else except see a new country. Nothing against travel. It's fun. But don't listen to what people think you should do. If you have a dream in your heart, I don't care if it was there since you were 5 years old and you want to be a ballerina and you're 80, go take some ballet classes. I don't care. Whatever it is, you just go for it because people will never, I mean, one day, and this isn't a downer, death is your friend. Death reminds you don't have any freaking time to waste, right? No time to waste. So go after the joy. And I heard somebody say this a while ago. When you're on your deathbed, you're not going to say, oh, I wish I spent a little more time at the office. I wish I just made that extra phone call. Golly, I really wish, I had just earned that extra. No, I guarantee that is not what you are going to think on your deathbed. It's going to be, why didn't I learn how to fly a plane? Why didn't I become a ballerina? How come I just didn't go out there and do it anyways, even if no one's going to hire me? How come I didn't, you know, fill in the blank, whatever that little dream is that you have that you think, well, not anymore, or that's silly, or that's immature, or whatever kind of negative label you want to put on it, which would give you permission to not go for it. Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. People say, oh, what are your fantasies? Well, I don't have any because if I want to do something, I just do it. And that's the truth. Anyone who knows me knows that, yeah, that's the truth. Good or bad, that's the truth. And I've had many experiences. Many of them I don't choose to repeat. I don't negate the experience. It was like, okay, that was enough of that. Don't need any more of that. And that's fine. But, many I want of experiences I've had, I want more of. And this is one of them. It's sharing, sharing what I know. I feel like I could ramble on mindlessly for a while. I am a little bit sleep deprived. Um,
No,
Time
Teresa.
change, a red eye flight, the whole bit. But if anybody has questions or anything you'd like me to cover,
Yeah, well, I was going to pass it over to anyone else that wants to add into this, like June or Laura, on your own experience in life based on what Teresa said or something totally new. If you want to chime in to give us your wisdom, because there's wisdom in every decade.
I
yes.
just want to share, Teresa, you're just so lovely. Honestly, like my morning this morning, Lily, she's got her molars coming through. So she was up quite a bit in the night and I was just feeling like tired. And I'm like, oh man, usually I don't schedule anything until 11. So like doing this at 9:30 was ambitious. And there was part of me that was like kicking myself, being like, fuck, Laura, like, why would you agree to something at 9:30 when you have a toddler, like a baby at home? So Danny's out there with Lily. So we moved everything into the bedroom so that I could be in here so that they could stay out there. And I'm here. But just like listening to you talk and just share everything, just like shifted my state and shifted my mood. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I think too, it was so many things you said. Well, everything that you had shared was just so valuable. It's interesting because I've kind of been, so I'm in 34 right now. And I really do see it as like every decade brings like a new kind of like thing. Like in 20s, my 20s was all like I it was quite chaotic, I guess, when I look back at it. And when I was there, I was just enjoying and having fun. But I mean, like, there was a lot of alcohol, a lot of like things that, I mean, you're young and you're learning, right? And then in my 30s, it was kind of like, well, I guess at mid 20s to like into my 30s was like me really finding myself and getting rid of a lot of the people pleasing and like what society or my family wanted for me and really coming into who I am and what I wanted. And then I really do see it as like every decade, like you're gaining so much more wisdom. Like it's so unfortunate that a lot of us hang on to that story that we've heard from society around there being so much fear around aging. And
Mhm.
I mean, I guess there's a lot of like validity to it because I mean, I think that as a society, we haven't really talked a lot about death or even people having a belief system in the afterlife or like other things like that because I know like even for example my dad like he like even just like talking about death or having to think about getting a will in place or these things like he's a little bit more reserved and hesitant to even do that stuff, right? Whereas for me, I'm like with Lily, I'm like, no, like I want to get that stuff in place because if anything happens to me, I want to know that she's okay and like I have no fear around it. But it all depends on kind of like our fear level around death as well. Like I think that now I think that there's maybe some more conversations that are being had around that as well and around aging too. So it kind of opens up more narratives around it, which I love that that happens because I do really see it as it being like every single new decade. It's like so much more wisdom and so much more life experience that we get to tap into. So yeah.
That is a really, really awesome point you brought up, Laura. If I were to just sort of cliff note each decade, the 20s were all about establishing who I was. And there was a lot of drugs, alcohol, and promiscuity in that decade, and don't regret a minute of it. It was quite an adventurous, fun decade. The 30s was more about really solidifying who I was and looking at what I want,
Mhm.
and gathering the courage to do it.
Mhm.
The 40s was a different decade, and I didn't have children, so I don't have the same perspective as, having to schedule around toddlers and stuff. That is like, I think being a mommy is one of the most important and most difficult jobs in the world. I know I wasn't cut out for that one, but I'm cut out for other things. And the 40s were all about feeling empowered. My 50s, I started to relax into myself rather than being so warrior like, here I am. It was like, here I am. I showed up. The 60s have been a gift. I just feel so content and satisfied. I mean, I have ambitions and I want to do things, but just a feeling of like I've landed. And then when I'm meeting my new friends in their 70s and I just see how fired up she is, and she's got that whole no care to a whole new level. And I'm looking forward to that decade. And I don't have too many friends in their 80s, but I do have a couple. And one of them is living in Mexico, and her name's Jana. And she is, oh my goodness, she does crazy things. She takes wine bottles and paints art all over them and sells them and does all this sort of thing. She doesn't need to do these things for money. She does it because she's decided to let her creative side really run amok. And the joke around her is don't stand still very long because she's going to paint you. So it's just whether it's her furniture or her refrigerator. Yes, she's painted her refrigerator, and just she's she's amazing. Like no care to a whole new
Mhm.
level. So, and then I look at Jimmy at 97. Jimmy has had such incredible financial success that he is blessed his children, his grandchildren, his great, and he has great, great, great grandchildren being born now. He's blessed
Mm.
them all. Every one of those children will go to university, every one of those children, and that became his purpose because that is something very important to have a healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally healthy life is to have purpose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, we all think, oh my gosh, what's the big purpose? Well, it might be very easy for someone with a toddler. It's like raising this tiny human to be a good human and loving and all that. That's a huge purpose, you know. But as you get older, let's see, kids are grown, flown the coop, you know, you're a good grandparent or great grandparent, but what's your daily purpose?
Yeah.
What brings you joy daily? So have that.
Awesome.
And one thing I have to touch on is hormones. You know that one of the reasons people get, I'm going to say, less happy as they get older, it's not what you think. It's because first of all, let's just start with puberty. Is that just not hormones on fire? And then there's several years of these hormones going crazy, and you know, teenagers can be crazy and crazy good or crazy bad or both. And then it sort of settles down. They're late teens, early 20s. Yeah, it's not that they don't do crazy stuff, but they're not so excitable. You know, you don't look at, you know, your sister sideways and she, you know, starts screaming and throwing things at you like she might have if she was PMSing at 17 or something. Um, and hormones ramp up pretty good. Like they really peak at about 20, and then you've got, if you're lucky, a good 10 years of that peak. So from 20 to 30, you're peaking out, and then at 30 they drop. So the one thing is, I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do, every day you get older. So every day they drop. So you need to do things that help your hormones, and a lot of that is get rid of the hormone disruptors. I just learned that Dawn dish soap is a huge hormone disruptor. It was my favorite dish soap. It's okay. There's a company out there that makes, it's called Melaleuca, and I'm not really pitching things, but they make a, and there's others, but they make a healthy dish soap. So, you know, you make the effort to do that. Certain cosmetics and certain things we do to our body are huge hormone disruptors. Find a better solution, or a more natural solution. Because right now I'll just say I'm dealing with a couple people in my family who are in a really bad emotional, like nearly suicidal state, and it's hormones. I've got one of them turned around already, and another one, I'm trying to get her to listen to me. And, you know, so, you know, they say cranky old lady or cranky old man. They weren't cranky in their 20s or 40s or maybe even 50s. But the crank starts coming in for most people in the 50s as a little aches and pains, things set in, and they get, we have to put on the fakeness, you know, a little more often. And
Mm-hmm.
no, so there's foods, there's supplements, there's things you can do. I know that Karrie and Laura both know there's a company we all shop from that has something that'll support a woman's hormones. I've shared something with Karrie that supports anybody's, like males, men as well, because trust me, if you got a husband and you guys are older, you can sweeten them up. Just get cranky, you can sweeten them up, but you have to help them, right? This is a natural decline. So that's something that's overlooked. But nutrition is 100%, or lacking nutrition is 100% behind every disease, 100%. There has not been one type of disease that they can pinpoint that does not have a root cause in the dietary, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, 80% of cancer is dietary. 20% isn't.
Yeah.
All of it's hormonal, but 80% of it you can impact with your diet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like important stuff to know. And we have that power, you guys. We don't need to rely on the so-called experts. We have
Yeah.
an inner wisdom. We have an inner wisdom, and we know what works. And just pay attention to, you try a new activity or try a new diet or try a new anything, and just watch your wisdom. Karrie has known me for 17 years, and she's seen me go through many diets. I was vegetarian for 25 years, and then I was just eating normal, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
is. And then I went paleo, and then I went keto, and I'm currently carnivore. So but what is it? I'm experimenting. I'm never going to stop experimenting to see what works the best for me.
Mm-hmm.
So far, this one feels really, really good, but that's my biochemical makeup, right? So I'm
Awesome.
part Native Indian, and I know that that might have something to do with it. In fact, I'm making venison for dinner. So it's you find what works for you. Find
Mm-hmm.
what works for you. And then the last but not least is It's important to supplement. I know a lot of people have the thoughts that I eat really well and I don't need to take pills. Well, if you can find a supplement in a liquid form, go for it. But supplementing your diet to ensure you get enough minerals and vitamins and all the goodness that our body needs. Because truly, our bodies are miracles. They will age. I'm on no pharmaceuticals, guys. I'm on no drugs at all. I take nothing, nothing. It's
Hmm.
almost 67. And the only upset is that several years ago, I needed something stitched, and they weren't letting me in to see the doctor because they didn't believe that I wasn't taking any meds. They kept asking me over and over as if they thought I was in shock, and I couldn't remember all the drugs I was on. And I'm like, I finally had to sort of like get real loud and go, I don't take drugs. So, it's really interesting that it's become such an accepted norm that anybody my age should be on half a dozen drugs that you actually kind of have to make a stand and say, guys, no, So it's up to you how you want to live. And it really is. We have free will. I think I spent the first 35 years of my life trying to kill myself for my lifestyle. It was just ridiculous. And then I started smartening up. And I hope to live, my goal is to live to 122 years. And I've even programmed my death, so I'll share it with you because, um, it's important. I'm going to be visiting Karrie in Austria, and we're going to go helicopter skiing, except she can't go that day, but I'm going to go anyways. And I die in an avalanche at
Okay.
122 years old. So
Beautiful.
that implies that I still have adventure. I'm physically able to do it, and I can financially afford to do it because I'm wise with my money and I have an enterprise that keeps me happy and healthy. So there you go,
Beautiful.
guys. Don't think small. We are designed to live 120. So when people die at 90, they got robbed. So
Beautiful.
that's my take on that.
Beautiful. We're going to let June pop in here and share her experience looking
Well,
so damn good at the ripe young
Absolutely.
age of 40.
yeah, right. Actually, to be honest, I feel a lot better now that I'm almost 65. And yeah, I feel a lot better than I did when I was in my 40s, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. And Teresa, I agree with so much that you said there as well. Like it's all, I mean, you really just have to find that peace within yourself and just like and not really care about the external. Like you've really got to go within and really I don't know, another thing too is like just really digging deeper, like allowing yourself that time to just go deeper within yourself instead of just, the superficial life things that we have
Yeah.
to do with. But excuse me, my voice is a little funny right now. But
Have you found that, June, more in your 60s that you've set what Teresa was talking about settled in? Like there's
yeah.
nothing to shine and show?
Well, no, I think there's a lot to shine and show.
No, I mean from the sense of yeah,
Nothing to
shining,
prove.
but nothing to
Nothing to
prove. That's what I
prove.
meant.
Nothing to prove. No, I don't
Yeah,
have to prove anything. And it feels so empowering to be able to just, like honestly and truthfully just authentically be myself. And it doesn't matter what other people think. I just feel like I know within myself that I'm doing, like I would never do harm to anybody else. Everything is coming from a good place. And like to me, that's enough. Like I can't control how other people are going to receive, but I know, what I'm putting out there and I think what you put out there, it does come back to you. So I think we just need to trust in ourselves and really, like you said, just really trust your inner wisdom and it will guide you. It's always been guiding us. We just haven't always listened to it. So I think you just learn to really get over the fear of like fear. I think is the biggest killer in this world, really. It kills so much joy and I mean, the joy is really what brings us that inner peace and that ability to connect with other people and share our light and our gifts with people in a loving, caring way. And to, if everyone could just feel that instead of getting so caught up in all the other things, which I mean, it's just how the world has been for us. We've had to learn And I guess that's why we're here. We're on this journey to learn and evolve and grow. So, but it definitely is like I don't like the word even age because I mean it's just we associate age with getting older. And I found this little thing here that age is an opportunity. It's no less than youth itself. And I thought like that really resonates with me because like I mean I had a lot of good times in the younger years as well. I've had a great life, but I'm really finding that as I have got older, that yeah, it's just a different kind of feeling like just and I mean I've made a lot of changes in my life. It's given me like a lot of courage and a lot of self-worth that I always knew it was there, but I never really expressed it in the same way. Like I didn't just say like everything was about everybody else, where now it's, my kids, my husband, my like everybody else, rather than just like really honoring myself for who I am and what means the most to me. And I mean, they're still all a part of that, but in a different way with I just don't have these attachments to them that I once had, which is yeah, I think that's really important as well. And then just also getting into the emotional part of it. Like we have to remember that we actually have five bodies. It's not just our physical body that we have to worry about. We have our physical body, our mental body, our energetic body, and our spiritual body as well. And I think when you can connect with that higher self as well and just know that there is something more there, like it helps you to get
Mhm.
over that fear. I used to be so afraid of death and like
Mhm.
it scared me so much. But once I got over that, it really it's just helped me to have a clearer picture and a just more easeful time with the whole thing. Like it was a process though, but I think it's great now that we have like Laura and I do like emotional clearing and help so many people with a lot of these things that are trapped within. And I mean, we all have these things that are trapped within us from when we were children. And it's just, I mean, it's just part of who we are as humans, but like it is possible to and I mean, we can get stuck in those things, and that's what keeps us in these loops and patterns that we get into that keep us from having this joyful and being able to find ourselves. But like, there's so many things available nowadays too that we can go a little deeper and help ourselves. So yeah, and nutrition and like all the things that we've already talked about. I won't go into all that, but I mean, I totally agree. I've been doing the same kind of thing, taking really good care of myself. And I always think of my body as it's my vessel for my soul. And my soul is really what's shining from within. And that's really what's bringing me the joy. And other people see it. Like they tell me all the time. So like other people do see that. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just more about how you feel than what you think sometimes. So
Yeah, and it affects your skin, it affects your eyes, it affects all
everything,
those things you say. It affects all of that. Just like you see when someone's stressed, they're going through a divorce or they're going through something, all of a sudden they can look 10 years older
that's
and
right.
they're 30 years old because it's happening on every level. But when you
Mhm.
shine, like you, like everyone on this panel, when you shine, then it kind of stretches things a little more.
Exactly.
Or you don't notice it as much, right? And I mean, a little bit, you notice it, but it's just like you said, you wouldn't trade the wisdom. Like if someone says, wouldn't you want to be 30 again? I'm saying, no, I don't
Yeah,
want to be 30 again. No. That's when I had the most struggles, actually. But no,
exactly.
there's nothing you can exchange for the wisdom, I find.
Yeah,
That 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 wrinkle-free, all of that, uh, you can't exchange for the whole package,
that's right. Yeah,
right?
it's more about how you feel than how you look is really how I think of it now. That's the most important thing. And I mean, I can look in the mirror now and yes, I can see the wrinkles. They're there, but and I mean, I went through a time where, that was important to me. Like I didn't want to see them either.
Yeah.
But But I mean, now I can actually look and I just look more into my eyes. And your eyes really tell you a lot more than looking at your wrinkles and, having the perfect face or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just find if you look at a person straight in their eyes, like it tells you a lot. And yeah, you can, I don't know. It's just nice to have that knowing that you've lived a good life and whether it was all good or not, it doesn't matter. Like you've lived this life that's been like such a journey and it's like all the lessons that you've learned along the way and just, you get so much wisdom, I guess it is, and depth, I think. Like, like here, it's fills your heart more. Um, I don't know, it expands your heart more, I guess, is what it
Mm-hmm.
does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just makes the world like an easier place to live in when you can just go beyond all the, just the matrix, I guess they call it. So just, yeah, just finding that inner peace and yeah, and
Beautiful.
allowing it. And
And
believing.
allowing it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, I love that you said looking into the eyes. What a beautiful way for us to finish, to just like connect with all of us, even Kristen, I know you're flying, but just connect with each of us for a moment through the eyes, even though we're on screen. It just leaves it a little differently.
Mhm.
Even doing that, like it's incredible how that fuels you, eh? It's like what Teresa, what you were saying about connection. Like it's so important. So important. Like I
Oh,
feel
and
like a different person from this morning already, just from this call in half an hour. It's amazing.
totally energy.
Beautiful energy, ladies. Wow. Thank you for all your wisdom and your presence. Kristen, thank you for coming and being here and receiving it all. Teresa, for your wisdom, your space, and your stories and your energy. And June as well, your wisdom and energy and reminders. And Laura, my sister, for everything you shared. This has been wonderful. It's reminded me to kind of slow down a bit as I have things I got to do after here. It's reminded me that, oh, okay, no, no, we can take the time and look in each other's eyes, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's what I think the core of healthy aging is truly,
Yeah.
is the slowing down, is the milking the moments, it's not about the list of taking this. It's the slowing down and right here, right now in the eyes.
Yes.
So, ladies, you're amazing. I love you all.
Thank
Aw,
you.
we love you too, and everybody on here.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Thank you
Beautiful.
for the opportunity to share, ladies. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Teresa.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a fabulous, fabulous day.
Thank
Go
you.
out there and shine, babes.
Go out there and create.
Shine your pearly whites and sexiness. Okay.
You're amazing.
Awesome.
Mwah.
Yeah. Bye.